Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and for some, the PlayStation 4 might be the best option in 2025. And that's if you're wanting to get into home console gaming. Now, towards the end of last year, I put out a video basically saying not to sell your PlayStation 4. And I got a lot of comments that were basically saying that you can play PlayStation 4 games on the PlayStation 5. And that is true. That is true. But my overall message with that was really just to reinforce that you're still getting a lot of value out of your PlayStation 4 if you had not yet upgraded to a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, me, myself, I just got my first PlayStation 5 towards the end of the year last year, and that was when I got the 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 digital. It did not have a disc drive with it, and I wasn't able to find a disc drive for it until closer towards the end of the year. But I still haven't had a chance to really dig in and plug it all up and get it going. Now, thankfully, I did get a gift card over the holidays to Best Buy, and I'm considering using that Best Buy gift card to get an actual PlayStation 5 Slim with the disk drive built in. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing, just so that I don't have to deal with registering the disk drive to the system. It's just not something that I'm interested in. I'm not sure if you have to still register the disk drive to the system when it's a system that comes with the disk drive already built in. You guys could let me know that down in the comments. But when I look at what the PlayStation 4 offers to gamers in 2025 as compared to what the PlayStation 5 offers and what your barriers to entry are, to me, the PlayStation 4 still looks like a better value proposition. If you go on eBay or Mercari, you're able to pick up a PlayStation 4 these days for roughly around 100 to 120 bucks. And I've seen people buy PlayStation 4s for even cheaper than that. So you can get into the PlayStation 4 ecosystem at a very low cost of entry as compared to the PlayStation 5. I mean, even if you're looking for like a refurbished PlayStation 5 or anything like that, even if you're looking for like an all digital PlayStation 5, you're going to be looking at least $300 or better. In most cases, $350 to $375. And then if you want to get something with like disc reading capabilities, now you're well into the $400 price range. So from a value standpoint, you're paying 3 to 4 times more just for the console. And then you still got to deal with the controllers and everything like that. And the price goes up from there. Then when you look at the cost of the software, the games, right? The games are expensive. They're going to be more expensive than the PlayStation 4, and rightfully so, right? This is the more recent and the more modern console, so it just makes sense that it would cost more because you're getting a little bit more, right? You're getting a little bit more in terms of output and in terms of performance. But I don't feel like the value is there. Do I feel like you're getting 3 to 4 times the performance? No, I don't think you get that. And obviously that's me going based off of what I see in gameplay footage, right? I haven't actually played any PlayStation 5 games yet, so I'm not saying this is, what I'm talking about from games that I've played. But when I look at the graphics, which for me would be the biggest value proposition to upgrade to a new system. That's the way it's always been for me ever since I've been buying video games. When I was a kid and I heard that a new system was coming out, the first thing that I was looking for was to see, okay, how much better are the graphics? That was really all I was looking for. From the Game Boy to the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advance to the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, it was all about how much better do the games look, how much more realistic do they look. And for me, I don't really see a humongous leap between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 in terms of, graphics or anything like that. Now, the other piece of this puzzle is that there are a ton of PlayStation 4 games, and I know that a lot of those games can be played on the PlayStation 5 as well. But I think, again, if you've already bought into the PlayStation 4 ecosystem and you already have that console and you're already playing it, my thought process is to continue to use it unless you're really, really interested in taking advantage of some of those, updates and details that you get with a PlayStation 5. Now, I've heard some people say that the PlayStation 4 Pro packs pretty close to a punch. Like if you get like the highest tier PlayStation 4 console, which I don't have, I just have a PlayStation 4 Slim 1 TB. I don't have any extra horsepower in my console or anything like that. But I've heard that the PlayStation 4 Pro, it can match like a standard PlayStation 5 in some regards, in terms of performance and things like that. You guys can let me know that down in the comments. I know there's a lot of fans of the PlayStation 4 Pro, of the PlayStation 4 rather, and there are a ton of people who still collect for it, still have their PlayStation 4s, they're still playing theirs. In terms of games, I haven't really been buying a ton of PlayStation 4 games, if I'm to be honest. I actually stopped buying PlayStation 4 games right around the beginning of 2024. And throughout the year, I probably bought a handful of PlayStation 4 games. Some of them you see here. Obviously, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection was one of the games that I picked up. I also picked up the Yakuza Kiwami Collection, the Prototype Biohazard Bundle, as well as the Deadpool for PlayStation 4. Those were some games that I had actually wound up picking up during 2024, but the bulk of my collection has pretty much stayed the same. Now, one of the things that I do like about the PlayStation 4 is that there is still a large number of these like indie titles that you can get for the PlayStation 4. Limited run, super rare, strictly limited. Well, I'm not sure about strictly limited and super rare, but I know limited run, they do, for some of their games, come out with like a PlayStation 5 version. Most of the games come out for the Switch. I know when limited run first started, they were making games for the Vita. You don't see that as much anymore. And I know a lot of these like limited companies, they were doing stuff for like the 3DS as well. But these days, it seems like a lot of things have been focused and concentrated more so on the Switch, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. But the PlayStation 4 has a ton of these, like I said, a lot of these indie titles that you see, Ninja Savior, Within the Blade, Robbie Ribby, a lot of these like kind of niche titles, Skull, which is one of my favorite 2D platformers as well. The graphics definitely remind me of Dead Cells. So there's a lot of really great titles that you can get on the PlayStation 4, but I don't know if in 2025 the price point is warranted. I think for me, I still might wait a little bit longer to see how much more the PlayStation 5 drops in price. If we can see maybe a $50 to $100 price decrease this year, where maybe you're able to pick up a PlayStation 5, maybe like a PlayStation 5 Slim with a disk drive, if you can start seeing prices for that get down to maybe $299, maybe $279, $289, if we can get under $300 for a PlayStation 5, I think that's going to make it a lot more appealing to me. I'm sure it'll make it a lot more appealing to other people, and that's where it might make a little bit more sense to make that upgrade. But if we don't see the prices drop soon enough, I mean, it may just make more sense to wait until the PlayStation 6. And I know we're 4 years out from that, for at least 4 to 5, maybe even 6 years out from that. But I mean, the planning for that is already in the works. And even though it doesn't seem like it, the PlayStation 5 has been out for 4 years now. This is going to be its 5th year being out. So it's very interesting to see what happens in terms of the hardware. And again, I'm aware that you can play a lot of the software on the PlayStation 5, but is it worth it? Is it worth paying 2, 3, 4 times the price of a PlayStation 4 just for minor upgrades and graphics? You guys let me know if that's a value proposition that you're willing to take advantage of in 2025, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.